gorgeous, welcome back to the makeup aisle. Today's video is going to be my week 2 update for my monthly makeup drawer. If you've seen the monthly makeup drawer video that I did for July, you know that I'm trying a little something different out because I was realizing that I wasn't really reaching for all of the products that I had pulled for my monthly makeup drawers and just kept going back to my favorites. So what I did was I split up the month of July, and I'm going to keep doing it this way as well in the coming months, just because I feel it is helping me to really use up my products and really rotate through my collection much better than I was doing before. So last week, which was the first week, I did an update as to all of the products I used during the first week of July, and now we're on to our second week. So I'm going to talk about the products that I was using all throughout this week and tell you what worked, what didn't, how I felt about things. So you're going to get little mini reviews with each of the products because there are not that many things that I use constantly, like eyeshadow primer and eyeliners and things. I did not put in these videos because those pretty much stay constant and they don't really change from week to week. When I'm done, like let's say using an eyeliner or something like that, then I'll just grab a new one. Or if I'm done with a eyeshadow primer, then I'll just grab a new one. But that type of stuff I'm not going to talk about. I'm really just going to talk about the main things that I use, like primer, foundation, concealers, correctors, things of that nature. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first product I'm going to talk about is the primer that I used this week, which is the Covergirl True Blend Face Primer, and this is made for oily skin. The thing I kind of didn't like about this product is that it actually applies like a moisturizer. I like a very oil-free type of primer, especially during the summer months when it's extremely hot, because I am oily, especially in the T-zone, and during the summer I'm actually really sweaty, which is disgusting. So I need a primer that's really going to adhere well to the skin, really dry down the skin, even though it doesn't actually dry the skin up. This is okay. It's not my favorite, only because again it doesn't go on really for me like an oil-free type of primer, like a silicone primer or a pore-filling primer, something like my Makeup Forever Step 1 mattifying that I'm always talking about. It really gets tacky, which I love because it dries down the skin. It's a good primer, don't get me wrong, it's not like it's not a good primer. I just don't like the way it applies as a moisturizer, but this is something that I would absolutely use throughout the rest of the year, as long as it's not really hot or muggy outside. Foundation for this week was my J. Manuel Beauty Filter Finish Collection Foundation. I've talked about this a little bit on my channel. It's one of those foundations that you just kind of stumble upon and absolutely knocks your socks off. This is this foundation. It's a really nice coverage. I'm actually wearing it today. Everything I'm talking about today I have on my face, so you can kind of see the look that I was able to put together throughout the week. So this foundation is very nice the way it applies on the skin. I use a damp beauty blender with it. I dollop a little bit of the foundation, on the cheeks, forehead, chin, and then just use the damp beauty blender to really press that into the skin. It blends out gorgeously. It wears really nicely. It is a matte finish, but I always set it with powder anyway. But it lasts a really nice long time. Again, this is one of those foundations where you buy it, you put it on, and it just impresses the hell out of you. So this one I got from HSN. I don't know where else they may sell his stuff, but I will link it down below. They have several different shades. For corrector this week, I chose my LA Girl Pro Conceal in Orange. I've talked about this a hell of a lot on my channel because I love it so much. It is a nice thick orange color, but once you kind of tap it into the skin, it really just blends out beautifully. It's not cakey, it doesn't crease, it doesn't sink into fine lines, and even though the orange is left on the skin, once I put my foundation on and my concealer, it absolutely dissipates, so it's not like under your eyes looks, like a pumpkin or anything like that. But this is one of those correctors that it is so, like, it's inexpensive, but I'm just gonna say it's cheap because the amount of money you pay for this is like $5, and it is such a good product. I've also talked about the actual concealers on my channel as well. They have a shade range that is just unsurpassed with LA Girl for their concealers, which I also love as well, and they're like $5, so they're so economical. If you haven't tried this corrector, I absolutely recommend it. It is one of my favorite orange correctors for my under eye circles. The concealer that I use this week is the, let's see, what is this? This is Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Eraser for dark circles. I think a lot of people have talked about this before because of the delivery system of this product. It is absolutely suckage. Like, I hate it. You have this like cotton ball thing on top, and you know, you click it up and you get product out perfectly, but it just stays there. No matter how much you clean it, it does not get clean. It just always looks so dingy and disgusting and dirty. But moving on to the product itself, it is an excellent product. I really like the way this covers under the eyes. It doesn't crease, it doesn't crepe, it doesn't accentuate any fine lines or wrinkles. I really like the shade that I'm into. This is Honey, and I really like the way it looks under my eyes. Again, I've been trying to lately with my concealers not to go too light. I'll lighten up underneath or brighten up underneath with a banana powder, but my concealer shades, I've been trying to get closer to my actual skin tone, and this is one that I like the way it looks under my eyes. For bronzer this week, I was using my Makeup Revolution Ultra Bronze, and this is what it looks like. It's a big old bronzer, and I've talked about this as well on my channel. It is a really nice bronzer where I think it adds that glow to your skin that just looks healthy and beautiful. This is a matte bronzer, so you don't have any glitter or shimmer or chunkiness to it. It just goes on the skin so beautifully. I just put my brush in there and start, you know, warming up like the outer portion of my face and down along the chin area, and it just does wonders. I just love the way it looks. It's not too much, it's not too little, I'm sorry. It's just perfect right in the middle, but I love the way my skin just looks so glowy and so healthy. For highlighter this week, I went where you could see me from outer space. This is the LA Girl Strobe Light Strobing Powder in 110 watt. And I have talked about this highlighter as well on my channel. It's one of those that if you haven't tried it, you definitely have to try it. Again, this is an LA Girl product, so it's just a couple of bucks. I'm not sure if you can see it on my skin. I think you can get a good picture of it there. This is one of those highlights that as soon as you add it onto your skin, it's just like bam, in your face. So they have different wattages, which I think it's really cute. I just chose the highest one because I said, you know what, if I'm going to do it, I'm just going to do it up. And I absolutely love this highlighter. It has quickly become one of my favorites. For blush this week, I have one that I'm going to show you now, and then I have one in a palette that I'm going to show you in a few minutes. That's together with my eyeshadows. I chose the Physicians Formula Butter Blush. I had talked about this before as well. Just excited that Physicians Formula finally came out with darker shades, because the first two shades they came out with, they just wouldn't show up on me, and I knew that looking at them. I didn't even bother to get them. I did get the Butter Bronzer in the darkest shade they had, probably, I don't know, maybe a year or so ago when it first came out, and it was an absolute bomb. I had to give it to my sister because it just did not show up on my skin. They actually have a shade darker than this, so I'm still on the hunt for that, but this shade is so beautiful. It smells like coconuts and the beach, so if you like that type of scent, or just, you know, how it smells throughout the day, because you get a little bit of that scent throughout the day. It is not strong, so if you like it, it's absolutely great. So moving on to eyeshadows, I have an individual eyeshadow here from Essence. This is called Keep Calm and Berry On. And I did put this on my eyes today, kind of in the crease there, just on the outer corner, to kind of darken up and just add a little depth to the eye look that I did today. It's not crazy over the top. You guys have seen me with, you know, really smoky eye looks and that sort of thing. So I just put together a quick look because usually I'm getting ready for work, so I really don't go too much over the top. Some days I do if I'm really in the mood, but for the most part I just try to put together a really nice, very light, subtle smoky eye look. So using this shade in the outer corner was perfect for me. It's a really good eyeshadow. This is actually the first time that I've really used this eyeshadow. I have several of them, but I really do like them, and I think they're like $2.99 a piece, and they come in so many really nice shades. So the eyeshadow palette that I was using this week is the Deck of Scarlet Edition 02, and I have talked about this before. I actually have a video going through the subscription, just talking about my experience with it because I decided to join, and when I got this palette, I decided to talk about what I thought about it, created a look with it, and just went through all the products. So when you open up this side, you have your 3 eye colors on top, your blush, and your highlighter. And like I said, I have talked about it before. The eyeshadows are really nice. I have still yet to use this one. I did swatch it. It's got a little pearlescence to it. But these two, the purple and the mauve color there, are just absolutely beautiful. I put those on the eyes today. The blush is what I'm wearing right now. Absolutely in love with this blush, like 100%. Such a gorgeous blush. It just blends out beautifully. It's a great color, I think, for my skin tone, and I just love it. The highlighter, completely different story. Unfortunately, there was nothing to this highlighter at all. There was absolutely no glow, no like you didn't even get glitter. It was just extremely powdery, but you got nothing out of it. And again, maybe it's just not made for my skin tone. Maybe it's more of a highlighting highlighter, not necessarily one that's very bright and kind of wet looking, just something that's going to bring a little highlight to those points of your face where you would put it on. But again, it just didn't work for me at all, so I ended up using the LA Girl highlighter that I just showed you. So then on this side you have 2 lip colors, and the top one is a pink one, it's plump, and then the bottom one is a brown, and that's called Brownies. I actually have plump on, and I'm going to bring in the Deck of Scarlet graphic lip crayon. It came with this palette. This has quickly, and I mean so quickly, become one of my favorite lip colors and lip consistencies, if you will, lip product consistencies that I have ever tried. I am so enthralled with this lip crayon that I actually went on the website to see if they sold it separately, which I didn't find it. But seriously, I think I'm going to get in touch with the customer service. It is that good. It is such a beautiful kind of mauvey, purpley, grayish crayon. That is what I'm wearing on my lips today. So what I do is I line my lips with the crayon, which is fairly easy to do, even though it's kind of like a fat crayon. I line my lips, I fill them in, and then what I do is I go in with the color Plump and then just put it in the middle of the lips, on the bottom and the top lip, and just mash my lips together. And the result is just so beautiful. And I've talked about this before. Like I said, this is not a matte type of lip color. It is very creamy, very nourishing. It feels very moisturizing on the lips. So if you're a person who likes to have their stuff dry down on their lips, this is not going to be for you. But if you like a cream lipstick formula, if that doesn't bother you, it is so wonderful. Like, I am so obsessed with this pencil that at first I was using it a lot, and then I said, I better not do that, because then once it's done, it is done. But like I said, I seriously am considering calling customer service to see if they would sell this to me separately, because it is just so gorgeous. The last item I have here is a Gerard Cosmetics Hydra Matte Liquid Lipstick, and this is in the shade Ecstasy. This is kind of like a pinky, plummy type of everyday nude that's just absolutely gorgeous. I love these Hydra mattes also because of the way they dry down. They're not as drying as other liquid lipsticks. They still feel nourishing on the lips, even though they do dry down very nicely, but they don't feel as drying on the lips throughout the day, where some just feel like they're cracking and gross and really dry, and your lips just feel like they need a little chapstick. The Hydra mattes from Gerard Cosmetics are not like that. I personally love these very much. I've talked about this on my channel before. The shade Share, I always take that with me whenever I travel. They also have a matching lip pencil. Those two, whenever I'm like picking out my lip products to travel, those two are always the very first lip products that make it into my travel bags. That says a lot when I take it with me when I travel, no matter what. Like I said, those are always the first two products that I grab. So that does it for this week. I will link everything down below in case you're interested. If you have any questions on anything that I talked about, please just let me know. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to my channel before you leave. Also click that little bell so you get alerted as to whenever I upload new content. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.